Alright, we're back with more Stormblood Final Fantasy XIV. When we last left off, we had frickin' went through hell in a handbasket on the sea. Thankfully, we'll never have to deal with that again unless Duty Finder throws us in there. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kugane. The first thing we're gonna do is talk to the Falcon Porter. Learn about Falcon Porters. Okay, I wasn't reading all of that. I just wanted to attune to that Falcon Porter. So, instead of chocobos, they fly falcons here. Good to know. Carvalane? Congratulations! You now stand in Kugane, the western port of Hingashi. Regrettably, the only port in this nation open to foreign trade. Oh, and I do apologize for the unforeseen difficulties which befell us during our journey. Needless to say, your assistance in overcoming them was much appreciated. Achievement unlocked. Incidentally speaking, wonder if we got any more reputation titles. Survivor of the Song. Sweet. Alright, let's speak with Alfino. Glad though I am to have arrived, I would remind you all that we are far from home, with limited resources at our disposal.
Duly noted, brother. I shall take care not to enjoy myself. In any event, Doma is our final destination, and our first order of business should be to secure passage there.
Captain Carvalane, I realize you pledged only to take us as far as Kugane, and I have no desire to change the terms of our agreement. I should, however, be interested to know how you would go about reaching Authard were you in our position. At the risk of stating the obvious, you are in a port. Surely there is a kind and generous soul here who will aid you for the right price. You cannot be the first traveler seeking passage to Doma. The captain makes a good point. 'Tis like that Yugiri and Gosetsu were forced to come here for the self-same reasons we were. They must have found a way to Authard, assuming they are not still in the city. Ere we seek passage, mayhap we should first seek our friends.
Leave it to me, Alfino. Making friendly inquiries is my specialty, lest you forget. I got plenty of practice in Ishgard. Captain Carvalane, could you direct us to the nearest tavern?
Desperate for a drink, Gadi? You may find one in that large building just beyond the pier. Whether your journeys have come to an end or are about to begin, the Shiokaze Hostelry is an ideal place to rest, relax, and reflect. Or so they say. And with that, my dear scions, I bid you farewell. As soon as we have replenished our supplies, we must away. Ours was ever a fast-moving business.
The spice trade, you mean?
But of course, Surely you did not think I traveled halfway around the world and delivered you to a destination, surely out of the kindness of my heart.
Perish the thought.
Thank you, Captain.
And may the Navigator watch over and keep you.
Right then, to the holstery.
After you!
By the 12th. I thought Ishgard remarkable, but this... We are certainly not in Eorzea anymore.
A tavern is a tavern, Alphino, here or anywhere else. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time to do what I do best.
Find work in a tavern?
1,000 pardons, my lady. The signs of the 7th dawn, I presume. I hope your voyage was not too trying.
And you are?
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me. Hancock of the East Aldenard Trading Company, at your service. On behalf of Chairman Lolorito, I bid you welcome to Kugane and invite you to take refreshments at our local offices.
Lolorito? I was aware his interests extended beyond the borders of Eorzea, but not so far as Kugane. Regardless, I am disinclined to accept the hospitality of grinning merchants, especially those who serve a master with whom we have such a difficult relationship.
My, such naked suspicion. I do hope that business with the Crystal Braves did not rob you of all faith in your fellow man. Or do you really think the chairman is plotting to drag you into another one of his grand schemes?
I beg your pardon. If you are trying to win my trust, you are failing quite spectacularly.
Oh dear, have I offended you? Once again, I must apologize. Too much time in the Far East, you see. One is compelled to talk in circles round everything here, and one finds oneself longing for the invigoratingly candid speech of the Uldan markets. Though I see now that this was neither the time nor the place to indulge said longing. Might I suggest that we continue this conversation at the company offices? Too many eyes and ears here, you understand. 'Twould be decidedly reckless to say any more.
If I may favor you with the invigorating candy you apparently crave, it would be decidedly reckless to follow a man I neither know nor trust. Give me one good reason why we should accept Lord Lolorito's invitation.
Now there's the young diplomat I was told to expect. Very well then. I shall explain. You understand that you are come to a most reclusive and secretive nation, yes? One whose borders are closed to foreign trade save at this single port. Then it should come as no surprise that a great many parties have vested interests here. Merchants like myself are a given, of course, but for every one of us, you may be certain there is also an agent of a foreign government. Many notable nations and empires have embassies here, you know, including, of course, the Garlean Empire, with whom you have such a difficult relationship.
To paraphrase, Kugane is teeming with Imperial spies, one or several of whom could now be listening to our every word.
Something to that effect, yes. Beneath this veneer of bustling trade, a war for supremacy is being waged between world powers. One might say we were standing on the front lines, just not in public.
I still have my doubts, but he may have a point. I say we accept his invitation for now.
That's the most sense you've made all day. And you must be Chris Valentine. Slayer of gods, rider of dragons, savior of Ishgard, stealer of pants, if some of the more puzzling rumors are to be believed. I knew it! May I say what an honor and a pleasure it is to make your acquaintance, good sir. I just know you and I are going to get along famously. Now then, without further ado, allow me to escort you to the company offices. This being your first visit to our fair city, I shall make an effort to point out various landmarks along the way. If you would be so kind as to follow me. Oh. Yes, we should do that, but first and foremost, you know what I have to do. Hop the fence and find that ether crystal. Oh god, Hodor is back. He just knows how to play with our emotions. Everyone, if I could have your attention, please. You are now standing in Tenkonto. Loosely translated, the name means Spire of the Drifting Souls, which, as some of you may have deduced, makes reference to the aetheryte which stands over yonder. The design is remarkably different from those of Sharlayan, yet I trust its function is identical. A diplomat and a scholar, will wonders never cease. Far Eastern aetheryte technologies have a long and storied tradition, I assure you. This particular example was constructed by Onishisu, a collective of skilled craftsmen who guard their ancestral techniques with the utmost secrecy. In short, you will find no less reliable than its Western counterparts. Attune if you like. Well, let's do just that. And now we have access to Kugane. Where the streets are paved for Koban. Beautiful though it may be, we cannot spend all day staring at the aetheryte. Come, come, let us move along. The markets are next. Wow, look at this place. We have arrived at the largest shopping district in Kugane, Kugane Dori. Kugane, as you are doubtless unaware, is an ancient Hingan word for gold. So in this prosperous port where golden fortunes are made, lesser fortunes, or Kogane, are earned by the local merchants. It's all quite logical once you learn the language.
Now you're beginning to speak my language.
Oh, a kindred spirit. What a pleasure it is to meet a young lady who appreciates the value of a hard-won coin. Hancock of the East Aldenard Trading Company. You are with clients today. Why, if it isn't Master Kaiten! Pray, allow me to introduce you, my esteemed guest. Pray, allow me to introduce you to my esteemed guest, but recently come from distant Eorzea. This kind and generous soul supervises all transactions here in Kogane Dori. Your sincerity is ever appreciated. As he says, I am Kaiten of the Hakuchi clan, and it is my honor to serve as overseer of these markets. As we receive many foreign visitors in Kugane, we accept all manner of currencies. Rest assured, your Eorzean Guild are welcome here. I invite you to pursue our wares at your leisure.
I might do just that to, upgrade. Arms, armor, foodstuffs, potables. Here you'll find them, all of them, and more. Alright, let's see what we got for armor. I mean, it don't look too bad, but, I don't like it too much. But I'm gonna have to deal with it if I hope to... Let's see how it looks. Oh, yep, it's one of those. Hey, wait a minute, what's this? Oh. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. Doesn't look too bad, but we'll just... We'll just continue with this until we get better gear. Alright, let's continue. If we may pause here for a moment. This road leads to the Injin Gai, the district in which Injin, or foreigners, are permitted to reside. Will this also be where the foreign embassies are found, including that of a certain empire? Precisely. So you see, it would not be at all unusual to cross paths with one of our Garlean cousins here. With this in mind, I would encourage you to choose your words carefully. We would not want any physical altercations, after all, such spats being strictly forbidden. The Sekisegumi punish breaches of the peace quite severely. I've seen former owners permanently exiled for a single violation. Though, to be fair, this is not common. More often than not, they are executed on the spot. What? Cut down then and there? You're joking, right? Would that I were, but alas, these samurai are a humorous lot. Why, I recall one instance when a foreign merchant in his cups dared lay hands on a Hingan aristocrat in front of a Sekisegumi. The samurai cut him down with half a single stroke. Cut him in half with a single stroke. I don't even want to think about it. So, as you see, it would behoove you to behave. Failing that, we may be forced to part ways with one another. Or you with yourselves, in the manner of the late Teleji Adeleji. He remembers! I amuse myself. But we must carry on. I have yet to show you the Garlean consulate. This guy's such a dick!
This guy's a douche. I like him. Oh, there is so much I'm going to do here. Thavnarian Consulate. Is this it? I wonder if the Lamencent... I wonder if Lanoshan and... Yep, brass blades. To the Ruby Bazaar. We'll be back here in a bit, I bet. As you may have surmised, is the consulate of you-know-who. Mark the guards at the gates. Are their uniforms not different from those you have seen in the West? Were you to travel far and wide, you would find that many such variations exist, often inspired by local designs. All of which goes to show that even a massive empire seeking to rule all of creation is not without its artisans. I seem to be just collecting everything. That's close enough, savage! There's oh so much more I could speak of. The soothing waters of the onsen, the ephemeral delights of the pleasure district. But you are doubtless still weary from your long sea voyage. Let us retire to the company offices. Wow. Oh my god. Nobuo. Oh my god. He does so good at this fucking music. At long last, we arrive at our destination. May I present you to our humble offices? We have much to discuss, so I will refrain from further prattle. Come, come, right this way. Wow. Say what you will about Lolorito. Man sure knows.
Our thaumaturges took great pains to ward these walls against all manner of surveillance. Where business dealings are concerned, we do not compromise on confidentiality. You may avail yourselves of these offices for the duration of your visit. Come and go as you like, and know that you may speak freely here.
Your offer is most generous, but I will not enter into any agreement which would leave us beholden to you or your master.
A legitimate concern. Allow me to clarify then. The chairman bids you consider this as an expression of his heartfelt contrition for the bloody banquet and the unpleasantness which followed. Never having been one to put stock in words alone, the chairman deems the provision of material aid to be a more appropriate demonstration of his sincerity. By sheer coincidence, your purpose here also happens to coincide with our own interests. That is, assuming you are come to aid the Doman Liberation Front.
How could... I will not bother to offer a denial. You have the right of it. To be specific, we are come in search of our Far Eastern allies, Yugiri and Gosetsu, whom we hope to assist in their fight.
The Aori Shinobi and the Rugadan Samurai? Then you will be pleased to know that they have both come to Kugane.
Are you sure?
Quite. They came here aboard a company vessel, you see. However, they encountered difficulties securing passage across the Ruby Sea.
The Ruby Sea? Sorry, I've never been any good at geography.
Forgive me. This calls for a map. We are here in Kugane, the sole open port of Hingashi, situated on her western coast. Doma, meanwhile, is here on the eastern coast of Otherd in Yansha. Therefore, if your friends are to reach Doma, they must first cross the Ruby Sea. Alas, this is easier said than done, as the Ruby Sea does not fall within the dominion of either Hingashi or Doma, being controlled since antiquity by a third party, namely the Confederacy. Said maritime collective is known for the consummate skill of its sailors, and for demanding that any vessel entering its waters pay a toll referred to as the Ruby Tithe. In exchange, the Confederacy's vast fleet guarantees the safety of those who travel within its territory. Now, as I'm sure you are aware, Garlemald conquered Doma some 25 years past, at which time the Empire saw no value in controlling the Ruby Sea, and thus did they turn a blind eye to the activities of the Confederacy. The recently appointed acting Imperial Viceroy of Doma had other ideas, however. She has formally condemned the Confederacy and declared that any who recognize their authority shall be branded enemies of the Empire. Bowing to this pressure, Hingashi severed ties with these toll-takers and forbade the payment of the Ruby Tithe, prompting the Confederacy to make it known that any merchants choosing to sail the Ruby Sea would do so at their peril.
No wonder they struggled to secure passage to Doma. What captain would risk such a journey given the circumstances?
I am told your friends were not so easily deterred from their course, but I know not whether their persistence bore fruit.
I say we follow in Yugiri and Gosetsu's footsteps and attempt to secure passage to Doma for ourselves. We will need to cross the sea in any case, and we may learn something of their whereabouts in the process. And should we find that they are still in Kugane, we can make the journey together.
In that case, I have some information which may be of use to you. No quid pro quo, I assure you. The chairman was most insistent that I aid you to the best of my ability.
Though I am reluctant to take any action whatsoever that would be construed as placing ourselves in Lord Lordarito's debt, we must avail ourselves of what means are available. Our Alamegan allies place their faith in us, and I do not intend to disappoint them. Alright, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna stop the live stream for a second to relax and kick back and set up some videos, and we'll be back in a little bit.